All right. Deontay Wilder can't bench. So, firstly, thanks for making it onto my channel. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe and like the video. If you've got any comments about what I'm about to talk about, please do share them down below. So, I saw that Derek from More Plates, More Plates did a commentary on this, and it was to do with a video that Deontay Wilder put up recently talking about, well, showing his bench press, right? So I wanted to do a reaction on that and also tell you a bit about my experience of sports athletes and their general level of training, this style of training, and just a general like BS with sports training. There's so much money at stake with these athletes and the type of training that they do. It blows my mind how bad it is. So let's firstly go ahead and just check out Deontay Wilder here. All right, here we go.
Yup, I got this. I got this. Shit, she looking ugly. Ooh, she look like a whole birthday cake. Oh, shit. Damn. I got this. I got this. I got this. Let's go. Come on.
Good cycle.
Come on.
All right.
One.
I'm not sure what's on the bar here.
Three. Come on, Dick. Come on. Yeah.
That's bad. All right. So that was probably the combination of the worst of all form that you see is bad. So we not only had the butt up off the bench, went straight up, straight onto that decline. Let's make sure we're not doing the exercise right from the beginning. So that was the first thing. Next was whole uneven bar path. So firstly, the right arm was failing than the left arm. It was kind of like a craning up like that. So there was that. His elbows were pretty way out there. So, I mean, that's a pec tear in the making. He's brave, coming from the whole Crowley video a couple of months back. Imagine if that had gone wrong. Imagine what his sponsors would have said. And also, he did some kind of weird leg extension thing at the end where he got trapped in the equipment. All right. So, can we maybe see like what's actually on the bar? I wonder what okay, so we had 310. I'm guessing 310. So, all right. I thought it was more, actually. I thought it was like 150 kilos, but no, it was just 310 pounds. All right. Now, that was pretty horrific. So if we say that, so that was 310, and that was help with a spotter, and it was also help with a spotter, and on top of that, it was really bad form, arched, butt came off the bench, bounced as well. So for an actual single, I would say he's probably going to be doing no more than about 250 pounds. I think that's realistic. I'm not trying to be down on the guy for that, but that is realistic. 250 pounds, I'd say, is probably about where he would bench on a regular day. Now, he weighs about 220 or 230, maybe in the off season, maybe even as high as 240 if he kind of like lets himself go a little bit. I don't know where he is in regards to his training right now, whether he's preparing for his next fight or whatever. I think that's the general idea, or whereabouts he is for that. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt, and let's say he's 230, all right? So he's 230, and I would put him at about a 250 bench. And he's a world-class athlete. Like, that is not something to be proud of. Like, you know, great, like you do you and all that kind of stuff, but it's not something that I would put that much fanfare on. Now, what I did want to talk about a bit was, for considering the amount of money that is resting on some of these guys and their body, it amazes me how poor the training practices are, and two, how dangerous they are. Like, he's a boxer, and his main thing is he throws bombs, he drops bombs, he's a puncher, he's a knockout artist, right? You all know that about him. Now, just imagine if his pec had gone there, his pec had ripped off. That weight was clearly too much for him, obviously. So just imagine if he strains his pec tears. Like, what are you going to tell your sponsors at that stage? How is that going to be an end to your career? That is amazing. You know, if I was like his manager or something, that's the first thing I would be saying. Like, what the F are you actually doing? You've got that much talent, and that quite easily could have gone wrong, like really easy. So that's the first thing. Second thing is just horrific training practices. Now, in terms of, because I train quite a few athletes, I train currently footballers, footballers, hockey players, and CrossFitters. Okay. The general level of training in those fields is absolutely horrific. I saw a boxer a few months ago who was, one of the things that they like to do is they like to punch with weight. So you get this really weird situation where you punch with weight. Now, my question for you guys, just go with me on a bit of a thought process here, guys. So if you're sat at home, you don't know much about boxing or boxing training, and I'm talking about punching with weight, okay? Now, you might not think there's anything wrong with that. So let me just walk with me through this mental journey, right? So how do you get better at doing an activity? You practice, right? You practice the activity to get better at doing it. Now, would it be, so you want to be punching fast and with power, right? Fast and power. Power is force, you know, so it's, you've got to be doing it fast and snappy. So now, would it be better to practice fast or would it be better to practice slow? That's my question to you guys. The answer is it would be better to practice fast because you're trying to replicate it fast, all right? So what happens when you put a dumbbell in your hands? You slow down. So you are practicing slowing yourself down. That's what punching with a dumbbell does. The idea is it's supposed to strengthen you. So, but you are training the same movement patterns slowly. So you are training yourself to be slow. That is the problem with punching with dumbbells. But you get guys who still do it. It just, the level of like boxing coaching is probably the worst I've seen, never mind football. At least in football where the money is, they're doing things a little bit better. But that's the first thing that I see that happen a lot. Now, wouldn't it be better if you just had a sensible, progressive system of weight training, unlike what Deontay's practicing there, where you did progressive training, just the kind of stuff that I talk about on here all the time. So you'll get guys, you'll get amateur boxers, and sometimes even pro boxers who'll do this whole punching with weight, and their weight training sessions will look like crap as well. Nothing will be progressive, nothing will be written down. It'll just be going for like a max or sets of 10 or whatever every now and again. There'll be no actual program, structured program. And then on top of that, there'll be no set sort of structure to say, oh, we're actually getting better. There'll be no testing to say that, okay, you know what, after 6 weeks, like I do with my block system, after 6 weeks, we're going to sit down, look at our numbers and go, well, did we actually improve? There's nothing like that. So what's going to happen is if you're a boxer and you're there and you're training with weights, right? You're really punching with weights and you don't have an actual progressive system of weight training, at some point, you are going to run into another boxer who's equally as skilled as you, but hasn't been just prancing around with rubbish weight training program and is actually a lot stronger than you. And he's going to knock you out. And when you are hitting the floor, you're going to be thinking to yourself in that instant, should listen to Faz. That's the problem. Like boxers will take their boxing training seriously. There'll be all this, you know, cardio, doing the drills and all that kind of stuff, everything that they do, practicing the punching. But then when it comes to the weight training, it's the same coach. And that's the problem. You look at like back in the day, guys like Evander Holyfield. Holyfield hired Lee Haney, I think it was Holyfield. Lee Haney was a Mr. Olympia prior to Dorian Yates' era. He hired him to do, and he was jacked and he was powerful. Like these guys nowadays, like I'm surprised about Deontay because I thought he would at least do something more structured considering the amount of resources that he has available to him. But perhaps he doesn't have a good gym guy in his corner. Deontay, call me. You know, I'll do a hell of a lot better job than what you're currently doing right now with your weights. That's for damn sure. And so I often see this with like amateur boxers as well. There's this, some of their coaches are generally good at what they do coaching wise. I mean, I can't really judge on that. They're fine. But the weight training portion of the coaching is horrific. And you know why? It's because, well, most coaches out there are, you know, like even like bodybuilding coaches are like back in the, you know, the 50s. And most PTs don't know what they're doing. So how would you expect a boxing coach who's coming from a different field, the field of boxing and sports, how would you expect them to know what they're doing? They don't. And as I say, often you'll run into someone who's equally as skilled at you, but is just 10 times stronger because they actually have a progressive system of weight training in play. And they're not doing stupid things like punching with a dumbbell. That is just categorically dumb. And I don't care who does it. And yeah, I see similar things in sports like hockey and sports like CrossFit. CrossFit's notoriously bad. So they'll just do box work all the time. And so your average CrossFitter who kind of wants to get better will just fall into this weekend warrior paradigm. And that's okay, because that's kind of what CrossFit's built on. It's built on, you feeling like a athlete for like one day of the week. And then 20 minutes on a Tuesday and 30 minutes on a Thursday. Like now you're an athlete. Congratulations. So it's what the whole brand is built on. And there's nothing against CrossFit. Like, it's very good for getting people off the couch. It's very good for mass appeal. But when it comes to athletes who have potentially got money on the line and want to get better, that's where they fall down. And the best example I can give you is one of my athletes. He's a footballer, or soccer for you guys in America. And previously, the thing that really let him down was his fitness. So he worked with me, and over the course of a couple of years, he's actually improved to the point where he's been picked up by a team 2 leagues higher than what he was playing for previously, because his cardiovascular fitness is that much better, because we actually approached it properly. Previously, he always had good talent, but he wasn't able to demonstrate that talent because his cardiovascular fitness wasn't as good. Now it is superb. It is far and above where it needs to be. And that's kind of where you want to be. You want to pay attention to every single aspect and facet of your training and max it out. So that includes not benching like an idiot, not punching with dumbbells, and any other number of just like moronic practices. So that is my reaction to Deontay Wilder. Deontay, you can't bench. If you want to actually get stronger, hook me up. Or I will hook you up. Never mind. Right. Take care. All the best.